a bunch of gas, like say a solar system sized gas cloud, eventually starts condensing and cooling, which is always spinning, so it starts flattening out because everything falls into what they call accretion disks in the pre-solar stage. And then it starts spinning, and all little bits of gravity, they're just higher more than other ones, they all start touching each other and bouncing in, and god damn, why can't I forget? I'm like,
fish.
No, I just gapped on a word, and now I can't think. The word's accretion, I'm just on a stone, whatever. Anyway, so the process of accretion is when like, little tiny atoms turn into little tiny pieces of dust that they bump into other ones and they get a little bigger. And gas is being, even though it's a gas, not a solid, but it's still a thing, and it's got mass and gravity, and it starts to pull itself together. So this giant cloud of fucking gas, of hydrogen mostly, but sometimes helium and other trace elements depending on what generation the star was going to be. But generally, it's usually hydrogen with some helium, and it condenses down and starts getting hotter, and the more mass it has, the more gravity it has, so it attracts more of the gas, and it keeps spinning and getting tighter and getting hotter, and once it gets up to like over 1,000,000 degrees Fahrenheit or Celsius, I can't remember because it's 5 in the fucking morning, but it fuses the hydrogen into helium, which sets off like nuclear reaction, so boom, it lights up and becomes a star. And then it burns through all of this hydrogen, and after the hydrogen is all gone, it takes the helium and fuses that into carbon and oxygen and riboflavin and artificial flavorings, and boom, and all the rest of our shit turns into suns and planets and moons and dead people.
Aren't you guys the guys from Rape Door?
No, we are from the Stonedest.
Are you guys the guys from Rape Door?
But we have met them.
Oh my god!
What was the question?
Death of a son.
Death of a son. The solar kind, not the people kind, right?
Right.
Death of a son. Well, usually what happens when they're on their way to checking out is, as I've stated earlier, as the planet, as the sun turns hydrogen into helium, helium into carbon, carbon into oxygen, blah blah blah. Once it starts fusing down to iron, it creates iron. Iron does not create energy, and the energy release that happens with all the other, like when hydrogen becomes helium, it blasts all that power out. That does not happen when it gets fused to iron. When iron is created, it does not send off, blast out, so there's no pressure pushing outward to fight gravity, because that's why it stays a nice ball shape, because gravity's going, I'm gonna crush you, and nuclear fusion's like going, no, I want to get out. So there's a nice little balance. And once it starts producing iron, it's pretty much, it stops pushing out, and gravity wins, it collapses. And if it's this is if it's a large star, obviously a very massive star, then it'll go into what's called a supernova, where it collapses, and the amount of pressure or amount of energy created when the whole thing collapses down, explodes out, and it goes whoo, and they're really cool, and they sound gamma rays and all kinds of fun shit. Read a science book to learn the parts that I'm leaving out. And but if it's like a regular sun, like our sun will be like, all right, I'm making iron. Oh shit, I'm not big enough to explode, so I'm just gonna puff out and turn into a red giant, and it's gonna kind of fade back in a little bit, but it's gonna puff out and blow out the god damn it, I can't remember words once. Anyway, it's a heliosphere. It gets blown out, and all that'll be left is a little white dwarf that's not as massive, so that planets that are further out will just drift away, and it'll just be a little white dwarf that lasts forever, because it's not really just a big ball of carbon, like a diamond in the sky, right, Rihanna? And that's about it.
Well, what about black holes though? Because black
holes used to be stars.
So
a type 1A supernova. Was it type 2A? No, the massivest supernovas, sometimes referred to as hypernovas, because they're like these super big supernovas. When it collapses, that instead of just being a white dwarf, there's so much mass that, like, if this was like everything was, picture the whole Earth crushed down to this lighter, how much this would fucking weigh. Now imagine that, 20 miles wide, but that density. It pulls everything in. The light doesn't get away. And sometimes they don't quite make it to a black hole. Sometimes they turn into what's known as a pulsar, which is that spinning one with the little quasar lights that go about like 300 times a second. Or sometimes, in a weirder case, there's this thing called magnetar, which has like like you know how Uranus's magnetic field is all wonky and every direction. Imagine that on like a Googleplex multiplied scale.
Nice.
Oh, that's just a black hole. No, those are your options. Choose wisely.
The name of this channel is Dog Points.